Hi, and welcome to Wrong Way. And this is the Shift 7 L8 and the Shift 7 L8 with a modified front suspension kit. Let me tell you more about it. Wrong Way. First up, also huge thanks to Shift 7, and right away also a disclaimer, this is not a sponsored review by any means. I wasn't paid to review these scooters and I don't receive any kickbacks and so on and so forth. I just wanted to show you guys these scooters. And inspired by Electric Scooter Guide, I also want to tell you what will happen in this video, what I will be talking about. First up, I'm going to tell you about the company Shift 7, then I'll give you an overview on these scooters. I'll show you the performance tests, so hill climbing, acceleration, top speed, range, and so on. We're going to talk about ergonomics, all the features that the scooter has, and finally we'll talk about build quality and the design of the scooter. So without any further ado, let's just jump into it. And yes, I have everything noted down. I'm getting more and more professional. Anyways, Shift 7 is a Polish company, and just for now the scooters are only available in Poland. But don't click away yet, because these scooters are also very similar to other scooters on the market. For example, like Nanrobot, Lamgfeite, Eco Rider, and Speed Trot, whatever. These scooters are from China, but they have different flavors, and these flavors basically depend on the seller, who in this case is Shift 7. So what this company essentially does is set restrictions for the company and in a certain quality standard that is required for these scooters. They also give you service and warranty. To run you down what they also do before you will receive your scooter is check all the screws, tighten them up, Loctite them if necessary. They secure the deck from water ingress. They actually do a seal around the deck, so it's really a IPX4 water resistance then. They also prepare the suspension. One thing that you might not know about these scooters, they do need a little bit of oil in the front, like double suspension system, so they do that as well. And you can also select your suspension for your weight. There's a lightweight option up to 65 kilograms, and above you'll get the red suspension, which is naturally also faster. Red is always faster. Anyways, they also adjust the brakes, so on your first ride you have also good braking power. They also check them, and for now all the scooters are sold out and they will be available on pre-order. All the details are below. So now the overview. This is the Shift 7 L8 60 volt version. The battery is a 60 volt 15 amp hour unit. Here you can see the number in watt hours. The base for both of these scooters is the same. The difference is the front suspension element. They have 2 times 800 watt motors, nominal power, which are actually really torquey, more on that in the performance part, and they have huge 10 by 3.5 inch tubeless tires, which are meant for both a little bit of off-road and also naturally city riding. They feature suspension front and rear. They have disc brakes with 140mm discs, front and rear again. When it comes to features, they have lights, a remote, a horn, a sort of fast charge. I will talk about that later. They naturally fold, the handlebar folds, they have mud guards, IPX4 rating, which is basically water splashing from any direction. So they are pretty loaded up. And the current pricing is from $1,000 for the L8 to $1,300 for the L8 with the modded front suspension kit. Now we move on to the performance. 10. Pretty good. When it comes to hill climbing, it actually did exceedingly well. I weigh around 75 kilograms and I gotta tell you the results were really good. So first I tried a little bit of climbing here and there just to test it out. On a grass slope I could go up to maybe 22 degrees, but the upper part of the hill you can see there is around 27, so it couldn't cope with that on grass. But then I also tried concrete hills, and I started with around 23-25 degrees and it did exceedingly well then, so I thought I will go to Mount Doom, which is a concrete slope close to where I live, where the Wolf Warrior didn't make it and the TechLife X7. And guess what? See for yourself. Okay, we are at the Hill of Doom. Basically all the scooters here get creamed because they don't have enough torque to go up here. I'm not in a optimal situation here with the L8 because we have just 58 volts, which is around 50%, maybe even less, of battery. The Wolf Warrior couldn't get up this hill. The TechLife X7 couldn't go up this hill. The Thunder can. Most of the unicycles can go up here too, like the up $1,000 and up. But let's see what the L8 can do. I have good hopes here. Level 3, dual motor. Okay, let's do it. Yes! Man! Yes! Man! Okay, this is now the budget hill climbing king. Did you see that? Less than 50% battery and it could go up here where the Wolf Warrior couldn't. That's amazing. So hill climbing is really good. And this scooter top speed, well, it's okay for a city cruiser, but again, very torquey scooter. When it comes to the range test, I did a couple of range tests, and my first one was actually really good. I did around 44 kilometers on this test. You can see all the stats right here, and I wasn't actually driving too slow, which means it is a really good performance there. Then I also did a couple more range tests with extensive driving. Basically, what I found out is that the minimum is around 30 kilometers if you like smash it all the time, and probably the maximum is 50, maybe 60 kilometers, more like 50 kilometers if you just ride in a first or second mode. Talking about modes, here are the different speeds that you achieve in different modes. Mode 1 with one engine on or two engines on is around 25 kilometers an hour. Now we move on to mode 2, 35 kilometers an hour, or with one engine, or with two engines, 40 kilometers an hour. And obviously the fastest mode is up to 50, but now I don't really want to push the scooter too much. I want to have the most amount of energy left to climb the hill and go back home too. Oops. And when the battery is fully discharged, you also receive a pretty substantial and big charging brick, which charges at a rate of 3 amps, which is a lot more than you usually get in your average scooter. Most of the time, even in dual trans, you will get a 1.5 amp to 2 amp charger tops standard, so not a fast charger. So this means you can charge this thing up in around 5 hours, which is a pretty good result for a scooter in this price range. The charger is also fanless, so this is also pretty cool. Talking about performance, I will also talk a bit about the ride quality. Here you can see the GoPro footage from riding both of these scooters. Okay, so let's test the downhill abilities of the scooter. Ouch. And I gotta say, the suspension works quite well here. I mean, it's not gigantic travel, but all in all, the scooter feels really planted, feels really solid. I mean, that's definitely not something you should do on the scooter, but I'm just showing you that if you would go on some easier off-road, then it could definitely handle it. Woo! Woo! And I'm actually really happy with the brakes. They work really well for mechanical brakes. One thing that you have to note is that both for the accelerator, if you let go of the accelerator, it takes like a second to just begin accelerating. Same thing is with the brake. You press the brake and now it starts braking with the regenerative brake. So this is just something to note. You have to get used to it. A thing that I found useful in this case is to just never leave the throttle at 0. Just always sort of keep it here to just have the scooter be just a bit more responsive. Oh, yeah, but definitely capable of road. Oh man, and here is probably where the modified shock would do just a better job, but we will check it out later. Whoa. I really like the higher ground clearance too. The shocks are, I think, okay for the price. Definitely more comfortable than a like Skywalker 10H or 10S. Definitely more off-road capable, especially the rear shock. It's really good. And most of the time you use the rear shock anyways, so this is quite important. Here you can see single motor or a dual motor. Everything is within reach. The on-off button of the lights. The horn, everything is. The scooter is a good all-around package. Like when you buy it, you don't need to do basically anything to it. Just go have fun. Ooh. Yeah, I just feel that. Oh yeah, it has just so much more travel. It's softer, and you have a higher steering column, so this is actually a lot of fun. Woo! I hope Shift 7 won't be too angry about it. Ooh. But yeah, this is definitely a scooter that can do off-road, and here there's even more. Woo! Yeah, nobody saw that. There's more ground clearance than on the regular L8 because of the huge front element. So this is good for off-road too. Let's move on to some more off-roading. Hop. Hop. Yeah, I feel so much more comfortable on this version just because the damper, I mean the suspension in the front is so much more softer. And the only thing that I don't like that much is that, again, the handlebars are just so much closer to my body, so I have to lean forwards more in order to, accelerate hard and so on.
So the geometry I think I like more in the L8, but the suspension definitely in this custom version. Okay, before there were less people here. You can hear some sounds. Yeah, I think it's the rear suspension, maybe the front line element. Something needs to be tighter, but you can feel definitely, I mean here, less suspension noise than on the L8 by quite a bit, because there the shocks basically, when they do reach their maximum like clearance, they just hit against the construction of the shock. So this is not what's happening here. There's way less, I mean way more compression, and it's just way more stable. So yeah, good stuff.
Basically, they are pretty comfortable. I also feel really secure on these scooters because they weigh 31 kilograms, and you are pretty high off the ground, which is also nice. Now I want to talk a bit more about the ergonomics of these scooters. Both of the handlebars are around a meter off the deck, which is pretty cool. The L8 with the T8 mod has them just a bit higher, but it's not really important. It's around 2 centimeters or so. The deck is also big and comfy. There's grip tape on it. You have a footrest in the rear. You have basically loads of space on the scooter. I also really liked to like wheelie the scooter. Handlebars are reasonably wide, just nothing really special here. They do fold and they don't rattle at all, which is really impressive. They also come with pretty nice grips. That's also a thing that Shift 7 changes in these scooters. Now let's breeze through the features. It has really good lights. Up in the front they also have radiators. I think they're like totally enough for riding in the night. Maybe, I mean, it's not perfect, but I think it's definitely rideable, definitely better than like a Nanrobot Max or whatever, or a Xiaomi M365. It also has bright tail lights. One of them was flashing and the other one was just lighting up. I like the flashing more. I'm not sure what's like the current version at Shift 7 when it comes to brake lights. Sadly, it does not come with RGB. I know that other scooters that are very similar to this one, like the FLJ, Lamgfeite and so ever, they can come with RGB on the side. Now I know it's another thing that might break, but I just think it makes you way more visible. I think it looks cooler. Like, that's just my opinion, and you can always turn it off. So sadly, no RGB here, but yeah, that's what you get. Naturally, the scooters also fold, and they fold really nicely. I gotta say, there's a like twin latch mechanism on both of these scooters. The handlebars also fold. There are 3 levels to the front steering columns, so the scooter is also good for shorter people. And once you fold it up, it's a pretty convenient package. The steering column also locks in place, so it's very easy to put it into a trunk, and that's actually what we did. We used these scooters extensively, and my girlfriend actually liked the scooter a lot. Still, Mantis or Tech Life X7 is her favorite. And a great thing about this folding mechanism that there are no rattles whatsoever. They are stiff and tight, and this is really cool. There are also some screws to tighten these mechanisms up if they ever would get loose. But again, that's very seldom when I get a scooter and it's like totally stiff in the folding mechanisms. It has a alarm and remote, and here you can see how it works.
So this is the remote. There's no key, but this is what you use to activate the scooter. There are 4 buttons. So to activate the scooter, you have to press this button, this lightning button, and then once more. And if you hear this sound, it's actually on, and now you can turn on the scooter. To disengage, to turn the scooter off, you basically only have to press this button here, and now you can't turn it on here. So then if you want to lock it, press this button, and now if someone were to stand on it, this is the first warning, and actually the lights turn on. You can see it now. And after that, yeah, it's doing that. And also the engines block a bit, so it's not so easy to take out. Obviously someone can still take it, but it's a great addition to a U-lock, for example, which you can just get here, and it would probably scare the most low-skilled attacks away anyways. There's also this button, the bell, to just locate your scooter, and again unlock, then lightning to turn it on.
Because of all the features that are packed on the handlebar, there's not too much space to add more stuff. I could add a cell phone holder, but then one of the handlebars would not fold, so that's a small bummer. I think you have to get like a second rail on the scooter to get more stuff on it. It has a bit of a flimsy charge port. I wished it was like just a bit better than just a small rubber thing, rubber seal, and the quality of the charging brake is also pretty nice. Last up, let's talk about quality and design, and I gotta say, it's really good. It's sturdy, it's stiff, it's well built, well put together. I actually just really like it. Now it has a lot of edges, which makes it look cool, but you have to watch out for them. I actually hurt myself once when I was accelerating with the scooter. That's just a thing that might happen with these sharp edges on the top of the deck. It has a bit of mechanical noises too. I'm not sure where they were located. You can sort of hear them whilst riding. I had to also tighten up the light once, but it was super simple, just an Allen screw. On the L8 with the T8 suspension, I also did encounter some like a bit of shaking coming from the rear wheel. I contacted Shift 7 about this, and I'm not really sure what is the issue here, but I'm sure it's a matter of warranty, and if you would encounter something like this, they would repair it right away. And I gotta say that this scooter really also looks the business. But people were asking me like, how fast does it go? What is it? And it's also a head turner, especially the L8 with the T8 suspension. And last up, maybe, would I buy this scooter? And I gotta tell you, for this price, I think it's a really compelling device. It really rides well, it ticks all the boxes when it comes to features. The price also seems really reasonable. In my case, I would probably go for the standard version. I really like the geometry more than, and I think that even though the comfort is better on the L8 T8, I think it's like not enough of an upgrade to justify the price. It could be a preference for you, but for me, I would go probably with the L8. Yeah, this is the Shift 7 L8 and the L8 T8 with modified suspension. And if you're still here, leave a like on the video, subscribe to see more content like this, and I'll see you in the next episode. Kingston KS60 next. But probably won't be in the next episode. Sorry.